All right, we've reached the end, and you're playing laser tag. This table shows how many points you gain or lose when you hit someone or when you're hit by another player in different locations. So let's read this here. You are hit 3 times on the back, twice on the shoulder, and twice on the laser. Those are times that you are hit. And when you are hit, you lose points. So let's kind of keep track of that real quick. So you're hit 3 times on the back. So the back is 25 points lost, and you're hit 3 times. Yeah? And then let's see, twice on the shoulder. That is negative 12 times 2. And twice on the laser. That's negative 12 times 2 again. So why don't we go ahead and come up with how many points we've lost. So this is negative 75, negative 24, negative 24, right? And then let's add that up. So there's a couple ways we could do this. Really, you could just do 75 plus 24 plus 24 and then make sure and make your final answer negative, right? Or you could just do subtraction. So anyway, here's what I'm going to do. 75 plus 24, that's 99. So 99 and then another 24, that's 123 negative. Okay, so we've lost 123 points based on how we were hit. Okay, let's go over here and read some more. By the way, I'm a little cheating because obviously I wrote the problem. Well, I copied the problem and rewrote it. So I didn't read the next part of it to kind of complete the story. But here it is. You hit 2 players on the chest. So this is what happens when you hit someone. You gain points. So we had 2 on the chest, 4 on the back, and 1 on the laser. Okay, so 200 times 2, that's 400. 100 times 4, that's 400. And 50 times 1, that's 50. So that's a total of 850. Okay. So, and why did I go ahead and come up with the results of all that? Well, it's a math test, right? So we're probably going to be doing something like that. In fact, it asks, what is your total score? Okay, so duh, that's where it's going to come into play. So 850 plus negative 123, which you could just subtract 123, right? So we end up getting 727 is your total score. 727. It's positive. We don't really need to write that, but it is positive. Okay, so here, we're done with that one. Draw a number line or bar graph to illustrate finding your total score. So if you're like, wait, we never did that. You're right, we didn't necessarily do a lot of that, but the idea is just, can you logic out, can you visualize, can you communicate this information up here? So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start at 0 points. Now, is it possible to have a negative score? It sure is, but we didn't have a negative score, right? And here's another thing I'm gonna do. I'm gonna say, you know what? We know we're gonna end up at 727. And by the way, if you're like, is this how we are supposed to do it? This exact thing right here? There is no exact way to do this, okay? In fact, you know what? Let's get rid of the 727. Let's just keep it simple. Let's just add. So we have 2 200s. So, okay. We got 200. We got one like that. And then we got another 200. So now we have scored 400 points, right? And then we score 4 100s. So you notice I kind of counted by twos, sort of. I skip counted a little bit. So 5, 6, 700, 500, 600, 700. We scored 1, 2, 3. Oh, I need to do one more because we had 4 hits, right? Okay. And then last but not least, we had a 50. So, okay, there would be 100, so like halfway, there's 50, yeah? And since I have the iPad, I get to kind of zoom in and do that. I guess really you could do the same thing, right? So boom, there is our positive scoring. And then now we're gonna remove 3 times 25. So that would look like this. Back 25, back 25, back 25. And so from 850, that would look like 775, yeah? Because think about it, 850 minus 25 is 825, minus another 25, minus another 25, right? Will get us down to 775. And then we're gonna go down 4 12s. So we don't have to step each one, but we could do this over here. 4 times 12, that's 48. So I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna go back another 48. So negative 48. And we know that we ended up at 727. So let's put that here. I'll put it in black so it really stands out. 727. That's where we ended up. So there's a number line, right? And if you're like, okay, well, wait, what's a bar graph? Okay, so I'm gonna try not to scroll up here and look at the numbers. I'm gonna try and use my number line to try and talk about a bar graph. So here's a bar graph. And so like these are down on this axis are points. No. Let's see, bar graph, I guess these will be points. And this will be, whether it was up or down. So it's whether I gained it or I lost those points, okay? So I'm looking here and I went 1, 2. I got 200 shots. So let's do this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I got 200 shots. So that could be like, that was 400 points, right? And then I got 1, 2, 3, 4 100 shots. Well, that's gonna look kind of like this. So I got another 400, and then I got a 50. So that's gonna be like right here. So that was points gained, right? And then I lost 25. So that's gonna be a little trickier to do because I counted by hundreds on this, right? So losing 25, that's like, I don't know, like right there, negative 25. And let's see, so like I said, I'm trying not to go back. Oh, I lost that 3 times. So I shouldn't say negative 25. I should do that 2 more times. That's negative 75. And then what else happened? I lost 48, which was 2 times 24. So let's switch that back to yellow for funsies. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. That was negative 48. And then you can kind of see, like, here's, actually, let me do this thing. But because of how I stand and like work on the iPad, things are often crooked. Ungroup, okay. Can we be cool? Can you be cool here? Are you gonna be cool? That works good enough. There, now it's kind of straight up and down. So, I think you can pretty much tell that, hey, there's a lot of points gained, not a lot of points lost. So in general, yeah, I would have a positive score. Again, that was just the idea of thinking. I communicated that thinking. I communicated that thinking here, too. Okay, back up here. So we did 43. We've done 44. 45 says, if you had hit someone 2 more times on their laser, how would your score have changed? So we're speaking hypothetically. What if I had 2 more laser shots? Well, that would be 100 more points, right? So my score would be 827. Now, what if your answer had been that you just added 100? Would you be wrong? No, I think that would be fine. Because the question was, how would your score have changed? So really, I like both of those answers. All right, we're done with that one. Your friend ended a round with positive 224 points. He was, now let's take some notes here. He was hit once in the chest, twice in the shoulder, okay? And then he hit players. He hit 2 players in the back, and he hit 1 in the laser. So he ended with 224. Check if his score is correct. If not, what should it be? So he was hit once in the chest. He lost 50. Once in the chest, twice in the shoulder. So he lost 2 times 12. Right? So that is negative 74 points, yeah? And then he hit 2 players in the back. That's 200, because 2 times 100. And 1 in the laser, that was 50. So that's 250. So let's combine these two scores. 250 minus 74. Let's see. He had 176 points. So he was wrong. His score should have been 176. All right. Oh man, if only this match had happened on Double Tap Tuesday. DTT, where chest hits count for double the points. What would your score have been if it were Double Tap Tuesday? So this is what you want to think back to. If somehow you were thinking here, I mean, that says your friend, and we want to know what your score would have been. I don't think you would have gotten that confused, but hey, you never know. So let's go back. You originally had 727, and that was when you, let's see, how many did you hit in the chest? You hit 2 players in the chest, so that was 200 times 2. Well, if it's double the points, it's kind of like we're going to do another times 2 here. So we're really going to add another, we're going to add 400 points, right? And let's see, you hit 2 players on the chest. So yeah, 200 times 2. So really it would have been 400 times 2. So right here is where we did that. And so that would have been 800, 450. So when you add 800 to 450, that's 1250. Now 1250 minus the 123, right? So here we go. That's 472. You would have had 1127. 1127. All right, we're done with that one. And then this last one, it's just for fun. Try to end it on a positive note. You are thinking of going pro with laser tag. What's your professional name? It's not just your current name. So if you just choose to be Lexton and that's your name, no, come on, come up with a pro laser name. Let's see. Mine would be, of course, McLaser, and I'm not going to spell it with an S. McLaser. And what would my mascot be? You know, I've always enjoyed a flying squirrel, so I'm going to attempt to draw a flying squirrel. Oh goodness, I don't. Then so draw the flying squirrel from below, right? So there's his head, and there's his nose, like. There's this, we got some whiskers. Here's the flying squirrel. And they have a fluffy tail, I guess. And you know what? Let's make him like in a cool laser tag uniform. It's gonna be like a thing right there, and then pew, 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 pew. Big Laser, McFlyers. All right. Let me know what questions you got. Happy practice test.